Greetings, fellow survivors on the ice. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, episode 25, Vital Resources. Our priority is to convert Ray and continue to scan for buried timber. A lot of our bottleneck for power and for progress is restricted upon finding buried timber, so that is really the hope. Well, that we'll find buried timber and we'll be able to start to claw our way out of the desperate situation that we're currently in. So Ray did have a crisis of faith and randomly converted to a different ideology, which was a bit problematic because we were making progress converting Ray to a stalwart, and then Ray, with that crisis, ended up converting to scrapping creed, as it was a random choice. So that set us back a little bit, which is unfortunate, but, you know, it happens. We've been building up raw resources for construction projects. The idea is that once we find buried timber, we'll be able to make use of it and exploit it really as fast as we can by building sort of a connecting tunnel to it and powering it up and allowing us to deep drill it so that we can use the excess power from the arc to grow more food, do more research, everything that we need. So that is hopefully coming soon. Kadath asked, is coal good for this scenario? It is. So coal can be used to heat things like campfires. It can also be used to fuel... It can be used to fuel kitchens and smelters and, you know, like fueled smelters, those kind of things. And then it's also a reagent for steel making. You don't get steel without iron and coal. So for this mod set, we don't find underground steel. We have to make steel from iron and coal. So coal is, of course, very important when we want steel. Steel being, you know, the primary resource of technology, essentially. You don't get components without steel. I am considering, now that we have the fuel filter mod enabled, to have fish pick continue to deep drill. The thing is, yeah, this is in the close zone. Because one thing I was considering is once he gets out here, once we have a little bit more wood, because I can't set up a campfire with coal, once we have a little bit more wood, we can also consider setting up campfires throughout the base, heating up the base in a way that we really haven't been able to do before. Now, I don't have royalty mod DLC, which would add braziers, which would look nicer. So we're just stuck with campfires, but I think campfires are fine. We are rocking a lot of tattered apparel, and we're no longer really in our ideology colors. So there is a bit of an idea of like, hey, maybe once we have a little bit more power, as much as I would like to put down additional like hydroponic basins, one of the issues I think we're going to face is a steel and component crisis. Right now we have 276 steel and we're not making it. So I have to be very judicious about how I use steel, because if I am wasting it, we are going to be screwed real quickly. So that's a point of concern, I suppose. Making sure that we don't run ourselves out of steel before we have the wood-fired generator. Because if I can't run the cabling out to the deep drill for the buried timber, that's going to be a real problem. We do get trickles of steel through slag and the like. Oh, got a toxic fallout. That's exactly what I wanted. We do get trickles of steel through like pod drop raiders and siege sites and stuff like that, but we're running relatively low on it. So I do want to be careful about that. At least until next summer, when we can start exploiting the iron here and combining the coal and the iron into steel. And we're not quite there yet. Because it's negative 100 Fahrenheit. It's not like we can be out and about, traveling around. That would be deadly. Alright, Zeusin. Grow light is off for the day, so let's have you flop to the ground pen scan. And then fish pick. Where are you going? Here, haul the coal, and I'm going to flip off the scanner over there. And we'll be able to fuel up this campfire to help to reduce the need for heaters in the room, reducing our power requirements. I suppose one more thing I did last stream was like tinker with the defenses to make them a little bit more effective for cover. So that was another big one. For now, I think it's not unreasonable to also put coal on the shelf here. So I'm going to include the coal. Yeah, I'm going to include the coal there instead of on the floor, because on the floor is ugly. So in terms of scanning, we are about halfway to a guaranteed find, and I am just praying that we find some buried timber. If we're really strapped for wood, for steel rather, one of the other things we can do is to break down these steel mortars. We're really only ever using 2 of them. The only reason to keep the other mortars is if these mortars get exploded or something. You know, they take a direct hit or they get attacked or something along those lines. That's one of the reasons why I haven't done without them. Alright, Axios. It is winter. So technically, it is allowable to burn corpses for heat, base heat. Only Axios, of course, can do this, and only during the winter. So in order to take the edge off in base temperature, I'm going to have Axios haul some corpses around and burn them. I don't think it's going to make a big dent in our base heat, but a little bit goes a long way. Maybe, yeah, I was like, maybe don't go through that way, Cardinal. That's gonna be spicier than you signed up for. The Cardinal's on close zone. I don't even know how you stood there. That's weird. And we are getting, like, hypothermic. It is an issue. So, I'll just have to keep an eye on that, making sure that our hypothermia numbers don't climb up. Alright, hypothermia is now serious, so it's really time to dip into cover. And we're having a bit of a brownout. The issue is, yeah, we really just don't generate enough power to keep everything on, so I'm going to have to flick off the grow light for a bit until we have enough battery power to turn it back on, which I'm not exactly sure when that will be, but I know it's not right now. Certainty for Ray is definitely coming down, but Ray is also stressed. So one of the issues with stress is there is the possibility that there will be another crisis of faith, and if there's another crisis of faith and Ray converts to something random, that's a problem. And there's really not much I can do about a lot of these conditions. I mean, slept in the cold and chilly is not something I can really solve reasonably, in my opinion, because I don't have more heaters to dedicate towards heating that room. I'm out of that. So basically what I'm saying is we're on the struggle bus and there ain't much I could do about that. Campfires? Yeah, but I don't have any wood. I would build some campfires, but without a, you know, the only way to get additional wood at this point is to break down the defenses that we have, and breaking down my defenses for wood seems like a somewhat reckless measure to take. So how are we... What is going on with our power grid right now? I'm not entirely sure why that just... Oh, designated power. Okay, yeah, our batteries bottomed out again. Cardinal just got an inspiration, and Cardinal has construction skill. So I think I'm going to have Cardinal attempt to build a nice bed from the inspiration. Which Groggy was like, nope. I block ye. So there's a lot more dead further out from our immediate area because there are people that like froze as they were retreating or as they were attacking. I mean, it kind of went both ways. And oh, you need to get warm. One of the issues with that is given the hypothermia that we're facing right now, it's going to be really difficult to... Oh my goodness, it was legendary. Wow. Okay. Was not expecting that at all. Oh, one of the issues that we're going to face is like Axios. I don't want Axios to freeze to death trying to get out there. So Cardinal and Fishpick are going to take the legendary bed for themselves. Was not expecting a legendary out of a 13 skill worker. That was pretty lucky, I think. We have fuel for the fire for another, I don't know, 3 days or so. So Zeusin, let's get back to scanning. I'm going to be running our batteries ragged, almost burning out regularly, in the hopes of finding wood. Basically, wood is the priority. The nutrient paste dispenser that we have right now is doing a pretty decent job of keeping us fed, even when we aren't growing often. So that gives us an opportunity to focus on the buried timber that we're trying to find. And maybe the next person that goes for a nutrient paste meal, I'll have create a stack. Zeusin is now 58% guaranteed find. Cheers, by the way. That was delayed. Sorry, Izzy. Well, the inside of the base is... I mean, it's not warm, but it's not going to, like, have our fingers fall off, so that's nice. The wiki says a 25.5% chance at level 13. And Cardinal finished it at, yeah, level 13. Sometimes you level up during the process, so just checking. That's pretty lucky. Axios, you are shivering at 6.8. That should be fine. And Zeusin, you are heading back to the ground scan. Please find something. Please, please find something. So the other issue that we're going to face is toxic buildup as a result of the toxic fallout that we're having right now. So, unfortunately, a lot of the like corpses that weren't disgusting and rotted out there, because it's frozen, are getting rotted. Because toxic fallout rots corpses. So as you can see, they are rotting in the process of rotting despite the temperature. Being negative 86 Celsius. Holy hell. Game, please. Mercy. Oh, God. So pretty soon, once we get this corpse out of the hallway, maybe, it might be time to sort of turtle up, bundle up, and not really go anywhere. Because there's such a health risk in leaving the base right now. Both in terms of toxic fallout and in terms of hypothermia. Because Axios keeps getting hypothermia trying to go anywhere. Alright, we're having another brownout. And fish pick is going to be the lucky nutrient paste dispenser. Oh no, yes. All right. Well, the rice is getting grown. Zeusin, what is your sleep needs at? You are not ready to go to sleep just yet, but it is, I think, your recreation hour. Airdog, thank you for the resub. And, Mac, sorry, 14 days is so long between streams. I apologize. Marathon was last weekend, so I don't stream Sunday streams after a Saturday marathon for humane reasons. Let's just say humane reasons. Alright, after Axios burns the last two corpses, I'll have him switch back to his assault rifle. So in terms of the corpses that are left out here, there's only 5 that I wasn't able to reach. And these two are actually not too far. I think I could get there reasonably without hypothermic damage to my body. So guaranteed finds up to 65%. I really hope we get lucky. Like, if it's more plasteel, I'm gonna pull... Well, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna pull my hair out. Haha! Already done. A lot of idleness in the base. I mean, can't be helped. They just stand around. Alright, Zeusin is ready to go. And we are down to 53 meals with no rice left over, so hopefully we'll have a bit of a grow here as well. It is her rec hour, and she's going back to work, because I think she's all recreationed out, yes. Oh, I didn't realize she took Flake. When? Drug policy is no drugs. Let's take a look at it. For addictions, but not for recreation. So I'm not really sure when she took Flake, but I guess she did. If I ever find timber, would it be more efficient to get batteries? Probably, but only really when I'm able to make components and steel. Because I have 270 steel. Making batteries right now would be a really bad idea. There's been a lot of YouTube comments about that, but it's like, batteries are great, but not when you have the inability to replace the steel and components that you currently are using for them. Because anything electrical, like auto doors and heaters and the like, will break down periodically. And without the ability to manufacture steel, I'm relying upon essentially siege sites for steel, which is risky and reckless. So, at some point it makes sense to have batteries to deal with the... And batteries are best to help cope with the giant surge usage for sun lamps. Right? Like, that's their primary focus, I would say. But, you know, only when we really have the means to produce the resources that go into them. Can I use coal for torches? Yes. I believe I can. I'd have to have wood first to be able to double check, but I believe that is the case. Okay, getting a little hypothermic. And these corpses are hideous. Negative 88 Celsius. Isn't that the record? Coldest temp on Earth on record. Negative 89. Ah, we're 1 degree away. Well, good, close enough for me. Would more basic research benches made of stone be useful to power through? I could. I definitely could. Yeah. So if I did that, I would need to zone Zeus'in to not be allowed to do basic research, but that would certainly solve a lot of our idleness problems. So maybe I do that. Let's go ahead and do that. New zone. This is going to be the Zeus'in zone. And Zeus'in is going to get assigned to it. And Zeus'in is not going to be allowed to go on to the basic research bench. So, if that's the case, let's get blowback operation and schedule everybody for, like, priority 4 research. And then anyone idle will hop on the research bench. But not Zeus'in, because she's not allowed to stand there. Oh god. Axios, I didn't realize you were that far away. Alright, it's time for Axios to be behind the walls. In fact, I'm going to put everyone behind the walls now. Except for Zeus'in in the Zeus'in zone. Because I don't... It's... Carbon dioxide leaves our mouth and turns to ice. It's not appropriate to go anywhere at the moment. So I guess what I'm trying to say. Guarantee fines up to 75%. So that was a good call, Bakabul, for the research. I could add more benches too. The issue is additional benches cost steel, so that would be my hesitation. Yep, someone flicked the switch. We're about to have a brownout. There we go. The other issue is, I don't want Progadog or anyone else to use the ground pen scan, so I'm going to do the inverse so that only Zeus'in can use the ground scanner. Because if the ground scanner is requires enough power that I want the best possible researcher on it when they're using it, I don't want anyone else to, like, waste the power using it. So if Zeus'in's sleeping, the scanner's off. Would there be any point in using corpses to heal the... to heat, I think you mean the drilling tunnels with corpses? No, I mean, ultimately, I think using corpses for heat is kind of pointless because it's a lot of micromanagement and effort. And then that micromanagement and effort goes away in about a few hours. Like, the amount of heat that we actually generate from corpses is so nominal. Or minuscule, rather, that it's, I don't think worth the effort, in my opinion. Cheers. Alright, this rice is almost grown enough for harvest. I'm keeping the light off just so that the benches don't brown out. I am not going to be continually throwing Molotovs against the ground. This is, after all, a role-playing series, so stupid things like that that would work, I refuse to do for roleplay reasons. Functionally, yes, it would work to just continually light ice on fire, but, you know. I don't think I have to specifically state that in the rules that that wouldn't be allowed. It's kind of a no-brainer. Alright, Zeus'in. We're almost up to the guaranteed fine. I'm not getting a lot of luck. Ooh, Axios is actually harvesting? Hot damn. I didn't realize this was actually ready to go. Well, that's nice. Yeah, some of it got up to 100%. We scanned iron. Huge note of iron, but iron was really not what we wanted to find. I think what I'm going to do is harvest the rest of this rice early. So that we can have all the basins sown at a time. Well, I'm a little bummed that it was iron, but, you know, oh well. That iron is probably easier to physically get to. Well, nah, it's about equidistant. Near map edge. And we have enough rice for another big batch. If I have to choose between the ground pen scanner and the food, as long as we have a decent amount of nutrient-based meals, I choose the scanner. I'm just going to keep pushing the scanner ahead. I could have a dedicated switch to turn off all the growth planners. I had thought about that. Putting it on a switch and then flicking the switch when I want all the planners off. My hesitation in doing that, at least for right now, is like, I don't really want to be using more steel. I'm a little worried about the amount of steel that we have. If the infrastructure to be able to tap buried timber requires a lot of infrastructure, I would be faced with like breaking down the high-tech research bench and things like that, and mortars in order to make the connection, and I'd rather not have to do something like that. I could use dead power too, but again, I'm not going to be. This fire has 16 hours of fuel. I think it's probably too cold for fish pick. No, he can make it out there. So maybe what I'll do is have him go close. He'll be the only one allowed close, and he'll go deep drill. And one of the advantages of him being the only one out there is no one's going to go out there to try to haul the stack of stuff. Oh, it's too bad that wasn't a work frenzy. Go frenzy is not particularly useful for someone that stays in the base 24/7, 365 scanning ground pen scan. And I'll do a, actually, I'm not going to do the work drive. I'll wait until we have, like, wood found for work drive. Okay, the toxic fallout has settled. That's good. And you are going to be behind the walls again. Do frenzies raise research speed? Yes. Work frenzies raise work. Anything that requires production. Whether that's, you know, tailoring, smithing, research, etc. So if you open up the info tab here for Pawn, and you check their global work speed, their global work speed will be affected by work frenzies. Mostly because it affects... It's a very powerful mood buff, or inspiration, I should say, in that regard. So we're up to about 10% guaranteed find again. And we're down to 28 meals, but we have a nice amount of rice batch for another stack. Oh, there we go! And not only that, but it's adjacent to the base. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, current priority. Convert Ray and exploit buried timber. So, first thing I want to do is paint where it physically is, so that I can plan out a facility to exploit it. So there it is. Because the ground pen scanner is now off, so I can't actually see it. So then, we are going to do limestone walls. I can have an airlock here. I'm a little concerned about doing metal doors, so I'm going to choose not to. And then I think the first iteration of this is not going to include double walls. And this will be the... Actually, I don't even think we need a raid pass-through here. Because it's close enough to the base that no raiders are going to destroy anything and trying to navigate around it. Would plasteel doors open as fast as steel ones? Yeah, they would. I don't have... I could try to work my way out to a plasteel node, but I don't have access to an easy one. I mean, there is a gold node here, but I don't really need to be ramping up my colony wealth to a mentally ill degree. So, let's see. The danger here is, of course, like body temperature. We are going to put a power switch on this side and run the cable out there. And then schedule everyone back to close zone, except for Axios on Axios zone. I'm going to fix some of these zone holes that I had here. So behind the walls will include this, and then Zeusin won't have a dedicated spot anymore. I'm also going to change the research over to multi-analyzer, because I don't really need anyone doing basic research. And then as far as close goes, they'll be allowed out here. And that, of course, is the most urgent and important project that I could imagine. Getting wood. So as far as deep drills go, we really ought to make a quick run out here. I'm going to start heating that area so that we don't get hypothermic as we do that. And have Fish Pick go out there and grab the drill and the heater. Axios is going to join them. Because we aren't going to be exploiting coal for a bit. It's just going to be like full-fledged wood. I can also start replacing the steel doors with wood doors once we have an abundance of wood. If we get an abundance of wood. Because nothing opens quicker than wood. And I'm not too afraid of fire sources for this run. I mean, they're a consideration, but we have such an inflammable base except for our hydroponics room, it should be okay. So now the struggle is going to be to very carefully watch for hypothermic signs here, so that we can dip into cover whenever we get a little bit too cold. I don't know if this room can even get warm enough for hypothermia not to climb dangerously. So, yeah, the heater is like only doing as much as it possibly can. It's time to like get the hell out of here and run. And to that end, we can turn power off there. The other thing we're going to want is flooring, because flooring will allow us to traverse towards there faster. So, flagstone up until this point. And then, surprisingly, I am going to properly tile it up. And I'm just going to have it be as a lower priority done at the end. Can you stop fires from using wood as fuel? Yes. I've already done that. They only use coal. Alright, as far as the close zone goes, I'm going to remove the northbound coal seam route from the pathing so that no one goes up there anymore. Izzy, thank you for the bits. Looking forward to hearing from you in the YouTube comments, I suppose. Cheers. A medium psychic droner. That's not ideal. Hypothetically, I could also just work on the power. Let's try to do the bare minimum in order to get a heated facility out here. So that I can start to deep drill, like, ASAP. No, I thought I forbid that flooring. I guess it didn't. God, it's cold. It's a tough project to work on in the winter, for sure. And we're browning out. We come out here, lay like 3 bricks, and then freeze to death and have to run back to base. So a lot of my time is going to be micromanaging body temp so that nobody loses fingers and the like. So I set these guys up in the warm zone. Okay, they're actually going where it's warm. Good. And I'm going to wait until their hypothermia hits 0 before I let them back out. I think what I'm going to do... No, I'm going to let them switch rooms for the warm zone. One of the reasons why I don't have doors between them is I don't want this... This room really needs to stay warm for the rice to survive. So although it would be convenient for them to pass between the doors, I think I'm more concerned about starvation than I am about, like, pathing preferences. Alright, so setting everyone back up to close. Secret installation cache. Oh, it's close by. Not that we would survive the trip. How long will this wood last? Depends on how much of it we deep drill and how often we deep drill. I mean, how long is a piece of string? Okay, that was really awkward. Ray suffered a crisis of belief and has switched over to pilgrims. Damn it! Ray needs to be a stalwart, so that's not helpful. Back to 50%. Oh my god. Alright, you should be in the warm zone. It's a little dangerous, honestly, to have the deep drill out here without proper constructed walls because of the risk of a raid targeting it. Oops. Sorry, Fishpick. Didn't mean to do that. And I also didn't really want to drop the corpse there, but I didn't have, like, too much of a choice. Maybe we could prioritize the remnants in? I mean, that's literally what I'm doing right now. Is building the remnants in so that the drill can't be destroyed. And then building the rest of the facility. The pathing and everything thereafter. Right, you need to get warm. And now we need the cabling, and then we'll do the hallway. At some point, we can also do double-walled installation if it's hard to keep the room heated enough to avoid hypothermia. Axios did get some frostbite. So you guys... Okay, the conduit was forbidden. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel Flagstone for now. Because I need the conduit, but RimWorld doesn't do layers all that effectively. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, which originally streamed live on Twitch February 23rd. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Frostwardens.